सच्चित् सुखं परमहं सगतिं तुरीयम् यत् स्वप्नजागर सुषुप्तमवेति नित्यम् तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलमहं न च भूतसङ्गः तपोभिक्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिनां मुमुक्षोऽनामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। An untrained mind, last time we did was part 1. This is going to be perhaps part 2. So you are made up of the self. Since we don't know who we are and we are taking from the lower point of view the explanation, the relative point of view, we have started talking from the point of view of I am the spirit, the enlivening factor, plus the equipments of the body, mind and intellect. Body has been explained very clearly. Mind partially we have done. So what is this mind? Mind is full of feelings, emotions, and we have done some qualities of the mind, asthira and chanchala. Asthira is unsteady, chanchala is fidgeting, running around. Mind also has various qualities. One of the qualities is attachment. It gets attached to all and sundry, everywhere. When the mind gets attached to the past accomplishments and past failures in your experiences in life, then all that accumulated past memories, experiences bring forth now and it becomes your ego. So I have done all this, therefore I am happier now than I was before. I have done all this, therefore I am less happy or sadder than what I was before. So this person who experiences the pain or enjoys the pleasure is the ego. When it goes into the past, when attachment goes into the past, it becomes the ego. When attachment is to the present objects of the world, the present beings, relationships of the world, it is called possessiveness. The same attachment. Possessiveness is where you say, this is mine. We don't have a problem when it is something else or somebody else's property. But when it is mine, it pains. This is possessiveness. It goes on in relationships also. This is my wife, this is my child, this is my husband. So this minus is the trouble, extreme possessiveness. So what happens with the possessiveness is, once you are possessive about any relationship, you are afraid to let go. We don't let go because if I let go, perhaps the relationship will not exist. In Hindi, there is a kahavat, छोड़ दो, अगर आ गया तो तुम्हारा था, अगर नहीं आया तो तुम्हारा कभी था ही नहीं. This fear is what makes you possessive. But as soon as you give up, I've told this many times, तन मन धन सब तेरा, सब कुछ है तेरा, तेरा तुझको अर्पण क्या. So I, at present, living in my house, with my wife, with my children, in my ashram, with my mother, father, brother, sister, in-laws, father-in-law, mother-in-law, all these concepts, all these relationships comes from only one criteria. comes from only one, mindness. This is mind. And that's where all the trouble starts. You are given a particular relation, a particular situation. You are at present there taking care of X amount of relationships around you. Whether you are a man or a woman or a child, you are taking care of them. If I can just understand that they don't belong to me, I am not the karta dharta of that relationship. My job is exactly like an administrative department officer, where I need to take care. After taking care, whatever is required, I get out. Don't own any position. Don't own any relationship. It is not mine. Because tomorrow, whatever I like in that other person, if the other person changes a little bit or I change a little bit, the relationship will no longer be there. Therefore, I need to take care of this. Nothing is mine. A dispossessive attitude towards your own possessions, including relationships. I did what I could for my children. I did what I could for my parents. I did what I could for the society, and you should know how to get out. It may be cruel, but that's the way you need to grow. 4 friends were playing cards. Every Friday they would meet and play cards. One of the man was Ghanshyam. And this Ghanshyam was playing cards, and they had a pile of money and they were very serious about it. They were holding the cards properly. And Ghanshyam had told, don't disturb me. We are all playing now. Nobody should come. So he told the servant before only, don't come and disturb me. Out of nowhere, after 15 minutes, when seriously everybody is sitting and watching what to do or how to play, the servant comes and says, Sabji, I have a news for you. He says, I don't want to listen. Get out. I don't want to listen. And he was focusing. Again in 15 minutes, he says, Sabji, it's very, very important. He said, I told you not to disturb me. I'm playing. When I'm playing, I don't want any disturbance. You go. Third time he came and says, Sabji, बहुत ही important है, नहीं तो मैं आपको disturb नहीं करूँगा. I will not disturb you. So all Ghanshyam's friends said, Arey yaar, he's come 3 times running and he's sweating. Please ask what is it. So he just looked at Ghanshyam and says, what happened? He says, sir, aapka whatever is that house was there in Lonavala. Remember the bungalow you bought 4 years back? Yes. It completely got burnt into ashes. Pura khatam ho gaya. He didn't even look from the cards. He said, okay, go. And he continued playing. The friends were stunned. He said, Ghanshyam, you have reached a different level. Your house, the big bungalow in Lonavala, is burned down. Nothing has happened to you. What is the study you are doing? Are you doing some studies, Vedanta or some Shastra? Or what are you doing that you are so calm even when your house got burnt away? Ghanshyam says, it's very easy. Just last week I made a deal and sold the house to Ramesh. As soon as he made the deal and sold to Ramesh, he is no more bothered. He's got his money and off he goes. Now the tension is Ramesh's. As soon as I think this possession is mine, the profit and loss of that possession hurts me. As soon as I say this is not mine, let that Parmeshwar take care of it. Whatever I need to do, I will do, and off you go. You will never have any possessive attitude towards anything. This is possessive in the present. In the future, the same attachment becomes expectations, obsession about this is how it should be. We can never say what our future can be. Future ka chodo, we can never say what next day brings. In fact, the Shastras say, I keep on blinking. I blink once. I am not sure whether I will open my eyes again. Each blink, they consider it as a death. and opening of eyes as birth. So no obsessiveness over this is going to happen. That doesn't mean you don't plan. You plan and program and do everything you want in your life, but never get obsessed with expectations of results. This is attachment, right? Attachment. So whenever we use the term attachment or talk about attachment, people think attachment is very difficult, sir. But I love my children. I beg to differ. Nobody loves anybody. And if you see the relationships, you'll come to know. A slight change in the behavior pattern and the traits of the other person, I don't know where the love disappears. A change, and the change can be in the other person, the change can be in me. So many people say, if we are not attached, how to live? Live in love. Difference between attachment and love is when you love somebody, you have complete identification with that other person. When the other person is in pain, you don't experience the pain personally, but you understand the pain and try to give it a remedy, a solution to that pain. This is identification. An identification is a thorn pricking on my right leg, in the sole of my right leg, and the brain power comes, nervous system, and it tells my left hand to bend down and pick up the thorn. So the left hand does not experience the pain of the thorn, but it understands the pain, and therefore the message goes to redeem it from that pain. This is love. Love is defined as understanding the other person as he or she is, not as you would like him or her to be. If I can accept my wife as she is, if I can accept my son as he is, my husband, my children, my nana, my nani, my society, my government, as he or she. So you are seeing the whole picture as it is. No change in between of this is what you wanted to do. Attachment creates suffering. You don't allow the other person to grow because of your possessiveness. You don't grow, and both get stagnated and both die eventually. The other person also is not allowed to grow, and you also don't grow. Love is giving way. Like Khalil Gibran says beautifully, have wine, but not from each other's glasses. Toast, but not from each other's plate. For a husband and a wife are like the pillars of a temple. They stand apart and they hold the temple. For a cypress tree and an oak tree shall not grow under each other's shadow. True love is you allow them to be what they are. And you know the beauty is what? As soon as you allow the other person to be as he or she is, relationship flourishes, it flowers, it becomes beautiful. And as soon as you don't allow this and say, this is the way the other person should be, the other person will run away. It's a natural tendency. So this is it. Attachment at all the three levels, past, present, and future, comes as ego, possessiveness, and expectations or orientation of the future. All this away, start loving everybody. Loving everybody, don't misunderstand. You don't need to express love. It should be from within. Okay? This is one of the qualities of the mind. The other qualities of the mind is functioning on likes and dislikes. So when mind functions on likes and dislikes, it says, I like this, I want it. I don't like this, I don't want it. And thus, by wants and not wants, and pig-headedly sticking to it, it creates desires. And these desires are insatiable in nature. It's like fire. You put logs and logs and logs and logs of wood into the fire. Never will a time come where the fire will say, "Bahut ho gaya, enough. I don't know more wood, please, thank you. I'm tired." It will never say that. Similarly, you give a person money, however much you give them the money, it will never be enough. It's like fire. Constantly like fire. Whatever you give, the desires will, because it will want something more. It's like tissue paper box. If you go to a restaurant or in your home, you'll see a tissue paper. As soon as you remove one, the other is ready. As soon as you remove one, the other is ready. This is how the desires are. As soon as you fulfill and say, this happened, next day started. While cooking for lunch, while cooking, even before one mouthful has gone into your mouth, immediately the next thought has come of what to be for dinner. This is the trait of the mind. Whatever is given, it's never satisfied. It's insatiable by nature. Therefore, people want more and more. They cannot be happy. They have an objective view of life. The problem with the object is you are viewing it as a third person. There is no subjective view. Nobody is diving in and understanding what life is all about. Stop reading too many books. Start focusing on the intrinsic value of your own self. Forget it. When I first understood that I wanted to run a marathon, 42 kilometers is a pretty big distance. 21 is a pretty big distance. 10 kilometers is pretty. 5 kilometers. Then we started by saying, let us do 10 minutes walking. You start what is possible, and eventually you will end up with the impossible. But start with whatever is possible. Don't shrink your responsibilities there. Similarly, studies, break it down. Don't go for hi-fi books. Break it down. Spirituality is very easy. Break it down to your everyday experience. Whenever I am enacting in the world, I am acting, my mind says certain things which is not good for me, and it is based on my likes and dislikes. So when my mind is deciding something based on just emotions, it is just reacting to situations around and focusing on likes and dislikes. I will not listen to that mind for that event and think about what should be done. Each experience, that's all. बाहर के पट बंद कर, अंदर के पट खोल. Shut off all the other noises. Life is very easy. It is very simple, and it is common sense. Alas, common sense is not common anymore, is the quotation. It's very simple. It's not complex. Break it up. This season has come. 3 months I am at home. Do you have a choice? Answer is no. So what do? How can you make your life better? I can make my life better by becoming more healthy, eating the right kind of food, reading good books, studying, so that subsequent 10 more years or 20 more years can be added to my already living life. Quality, not quantity. I'm not talking about quantity of 20 years. This attitude takes you places. Otherwise, whole life you will only focus on this I want. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a slok. I've got this, I want that. Actually, so whole life goes on, I have this, I want that. Why? Somebody went to Swamiji and he said that I am stressed and agitated. I don't know what to do. Very rich person. Our teacher said, do one thing. How many wristwatches you have? He said, 23. He said, keep one or to give the rest away. People can't give. People can't say no. First of all, learn to say no in all levels of the personality. Even while receiving an insult, you say no. I don't want to listen to it. Start saying no. So what are the possessions around you? Just give up. How much you need, how much clothes you need, how many wristwatches one needs, how much chappals, sandals one needs, what, if you see that half the thing what is there in one's cupboard is not used. And when you ask why it is not used, give it up. You know what the mind comes? It will someday come in use. I had a relation who used to go inside everywhere outside in the society and pick up screws and nuts and bolts. And he would bring it and put it at his home. I asked him, why are you collecting all this? Someday it may come in use. Someday it may come in use. When? At present, it can be used by somebody. Why can't you give it up? How much t-shirts you need, how much pant. This is called standardization. Bring your life to simplicity. Similarly, bring your mental balance to simplicity. Don't read too much. If you read too much, you will become an ignoramus. Ignoramus means a person who is well-read, ignorant person. Because you will not be able to control the mind. Everybody is saying 10,000 things. I look in the mirror and I see myself. Don't I know that I am out of shape? Don't I know that my mind is not really in the right direction? Can't I see my life, what it happened 1 week back, and find out where it is going and where it needs to do, where it needs to go? Just a little bit of introspection and keep on improving. Otherwise, whole life will be insatiable to a level where till the last moment, the thought will be, if I had that person in my life, I would be happy. And the tragedy is that person will never come. Everybody else will come, but that person will not come. Because your mind is craving to that. This is another. Second, another quality of the mind is teach the children, in fact, teach everybody how to see a positive aspect in all the negative situations. Train your mind. There's a quotation which I had written it. True education is to see, even in the worst of circumstances, a potential to change for the better. Continue with that. Whatever is the position, do it and live properly. So when you are going through an aspect saying that I need to better, all the things are going wrong. Yes, all things are going wrong. Try to find what is going right. In English, there is a word called collateral beauty. When things go wrong drastically in your life, do you have a vision to see something which is better, which is right? There is a poem of Rudyard Kipling called If. Please, you can go to Google and read the poem. I have got this poem here. I'm not reading the whole poem because it's too long, 2 pages. But I'll just read the first paragraph, how he is educating his child. This is a letter written to his son. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make an allowance for their doubting too. Continue. It's a huge poem. I'll give it to you. We'll post it in the WhatsApp. If all of them are losing their heads in the worst of situations and you can keep it, yours is the world. If in a minute of your life can be worth 60 seconds of run, yours is the world and everything in it. What a way. As soon as something negative happens, if I can train the mind to see a positive in that and function accordingly, eventually a time will come where you will not find any negative. Instead of negativeness, instead of negative tendencies around, you will find balaha in Bhagavad Gita, childishness. A child comes and you have a small child have a birthday and they have got a chocolate, you know, a box of chocolates, and that child is going everywhere. One of the child puts his hand and takes the whole thing instead of picking one. When the child takes a hand, makes a fistful and takes it, you don't hold the child and say, "Chor kahin ka? How dare you steal?" You don't say that. You look at the child and say, "Beta, first सबको खाने दो, बाद में बचेगा तो तुम ले लेना, हाँ?" You don't see wrong. You see childhood. Balaha. Balaha is a little bit of maturity, and perhaps the other person may be different. In ignorance, due to wrong values in life, that person is doing something atrocious in life. You can punish that person also as a child, but there will not be any hatred in your heart. This attitude is in Bala. You will not see corruption anywhere. You just focus. Let's see. My eyes closed, the world does not exist for me. My eyes open, the world exists for me. So the existence of the world, the existence of relationships, the existence of all the aspects of my life depends on just my eyes opening and closing. Till I am alive, world is there. Once I die, I have no idea. Everything springs from me. Therefore, the bottom line in spirituality is focus on your own growth. Don't try to do good to the world. In fact, don't do it. You try to do good to yourself. Live a life. Make each and every breath count. श्वास श्वास में नाम ले, बिरता श्वास न खोए, ना जाने ये श्वास का आवन होए न होए. Either the next breath comes or not, it's immaterial. Live a life. The mind will not allow it, because these are the tendencies of the mind. It's insatiable, it's attached, it runs everywhere, it's possessive, it runs behind expectations, it has an ego to cater to it. It sees negative in every aspect of life. Whole jing bang is only this mind. But all these negative aspects of the mind is shown because it is not specific to you per se. This is the nature of the mind. It is everybody's mind. So these Mahatmas, or the so-called evolved souls, have learned to channelize this energy into a better portion of their life. In the next class, we will focus on how an instrument, a beautiful instrument called buddhi, intellect, is given to guide this vagrant mind everywhere. And once the guidance comes, once it comes into a right direction, life becomes seriously a picnic. We will continue next time. Thank you very much.